Hello everybody. As promised, welcome to my Battleground Blitz Frost DK guide. I will be making one for Unholy and Blood soon, but right now I've just mostly been playing Frost and enjoying the heck out of it. As you can see, 2400 CR achieved, number 2 on the leaderboard. I'm coming for you, Nicholas. But let's get into it, right? This is going to give you a lot of information that you can use to be better in this crazy new game mode. It is exciting and hectic and frustrating, and you're going to hate it and love it. It is rage-inducing, it is amazing, it is super rewarding, and it's the most popular bracket, I think, of the new expansion. So here's some information. There's going to be a lot of resources that I'm going to link to that I've built in the description below, because I have a map guide for Battleground Blitz that will be down there. I have a Frost DK PvP starter guide, which is going to explain the talent build choices in more detail. And I have a gearing guide, and that will tell you all the gear that I use for this version of Frost DK, and will use over the course of the entire season. So everything has already been answered in those regards, so I'll keep referencing them as I add more information in the Battleground Blitz setting. We'll start with talents. The build that I use is my Endless Winter build. Like I said, link below. The Endless Winter build is perfect for Battleground Blitz. First of all, it uses Rider of the Apocalypse, and Rider of the Apocalypse is fantastic because it gives you something very much needed in Battleground Blitz: mobility. Death Charge gives you a sprint, something DKs have really never had access to on 2 charges, which allows you to get from point A to point B. There's a lot of different places to be in Battleground Blitz. You don't just stand in one spot in arena and do goes. You have to move around. You have to get to objectives. You have to traverse Twin Peaks. You have to be available. That is the most important thing. If you are stuck in a random place in the map, you cannot really do anything that is valuable, right? You might be hitting one person, but that might not be who you need. You might need to be chasing a flag carrier, or getting to a base, or defending a base, or even assaulting a base, depending on what the situation is. So mobility from Rider is fantastic, but the whole tree is good because it just gives you sustained damage and a huge go on your AoE stun. And AoE stuns are so important in Battleground Blitz because there's more people. More people mean more people to stun, mean more people disrupted, means more cleave, more AoE goes, more stuff that you're doing as a result of being a DK, especially on maps like Silver Shard, where everybody's in that cart. Swirling death ball of a DK can completely change the fight, whether you either win it or you just survive, so you can hold the cart if it's in your favor. So that comes from Apocalypse Now, which when you press Frostworm's Fury from the Endless Winter build to get your AoE stun out, you also get all 4 horsemen. And that is going to give you extra damage from Undeath, which you're going to spread to everybody. Extra strength, a big D&D proc that'll follow you around. So even as you traverse the map, you're still cleaving everybody with your obliterates. It's going to do so much AoE damage. It's going to give you so much extra pressure, all at the exact time you want it when you press your AoE stun go. So it gives you a monster go, it gives you sustained damage every time the Riders proc, and it gives you mobility. All 3 things you desperately need during BG Blitz. In fact, the entire Endless Winter build is around BG Blitz, effectively focused around BG Blitz, because what you need is not really the Deathbringer go. You need frequent, long-lasting damage, because you're going to kill Orb Carrier with your first few hits sometimes. I mean, if you've played Temple and you kill an Orb Carrier with your first few hits because they're so increased by the damage taken mod that comes from picking up an orb. Again, all the information for how the maps actually work will be in my BG Blitz guide linked below. But if you're familiar with Temple, you know they take huge chunky damage, and then maybe your Deathbringer wouldn't have even procced, which means what you would rather have is a bunch of Riders still out so you can turn and hit the next Orb guy, and the next score, and the next guy, and the next guy. And all of these Orb Carriers, right, are going to be plopping one by one instead of just you focusing all your damage into exactly one target. In arenas, once you kill somebody, you kind of win. In BGs, once you kill somebody, that's just par for the course. You need to kill a bunch more players now. So having these Riders give so many different benefits that can be transferred from person to person. Having these frequent goes from Long Winter, extended goes, where you can just have Pillar up and continuing to do as much damage as humanly possible. And it's just a fantastic build. It's just frequent goes. It's a powerful go. It's an AoE stun go. It's everything you could ever ask for, damage profile-wise, for a Frost DK. So again, the entire explanation of the Endless Winter build is in my PvP starter guide, but there's 2 changes. Really, there's only one. You have to get Death's Reach. But unfortunately, it costs a talent to get there. A useless talent. Sack Pact is horrible. Look at this. It's a 2-minute cooldown, 20 runic power for 25% heal. Warriors have impending victory. That's a bigger heal on a shorter cooldown with no runic power cost, right? I mean, this is insane how terrible this is, but you have to get it because Death's Reach increases the range of death grip at 10 yards, and this is so impactful because you are going to be death gripping a lot, and you do not want people to get out of your range. You are going to be pulling flag carriers, sprinting across the map. You're going to be pulling them back to your team, and then pulling them back again so they cannot kite you. You are going to be pulling healers into the fight. You're going to be dragging healers away from the team. You're going to be peeling melee off your casters. You are going to be gripping people off of nodes so they're 40 yards away, and now they can't even spin the node. You grip them again, and now they're 60 yards away because you just like maybe death charger 20 yards back and grip them again, and now they'll never be able to spin that node. There is so much you can do with this talent. You need it, which means you have to give 2 things up because it has a connector talent. Sack pack, totally worthless. And I gave up exactly Permafrost and unfortunately Blood Draw. Blood Draw is actually really good, but I couldn't really find anything else. Wraithwalk feels like it's redundant because of Death Charger, but mobility is never redundant in BG Blitz. You need as many root breaks as you possibly can. Trust me, people will be trying to root the DK off of their team. As many root breaks and speed buffs as you can get into BG Blitz. Zone is a fantastic peel for your team and your flag carriers generally. You have Blind. This is a setup button. You have so many core tools or things that just lead to the bottom here. Limb is even extremely valuable now because there's more than 3 people. I mean, you can just pull 6 people, herd 6 people together, blind them all, AoE stun them all, and all of a sudden they went from having tons of pressure to none. And you have all the pressure. You have all the initiative. So, of course, Limb on a 2-minute cooldown is a fantastic peeling and herding tool. It's really hard to figure out what to get rid of. You can maybe do something like Runic Protection and get Blood Draw, but this is valuable all the time. This is only once every 2 minutes. So it's probably not too big a deal. As long as you're getting Death Reach, you're happy. And a Permafrost, maybe not that valuable anyway, because you're going to be like gripping and chainsing and doing all these things. And the auto attacks, maybe you might just be chainsing a bunch of people in a row. You might not even be auto attacking anybody in certain points. So this is what I went with. You got to get Death Reach, and now you have the talents. Okay, so gearing. Again, you need dual wield Frost, but everything else is in my gearing guide, and I'm just going to link to that below because that explains the entirety of what I'm doing for dual wield Frost the entire season. And yes, that is exactly what I would be using in Battleground Blitz as well. The versatility is extremely valuable because you just have more survivability, and from the embellishments, and all of that is in the description below. So please watch that video. You're going to have to, because I'm not going through that in a Battleground Blitz video. This is more focused on the Battleground Blitz tools. Okay, so now you know the talents, and if you watch that video, you'll know the gear. Now you have a character. You have a character built. How do you actually play Battleground Blitz? Well, it's map to map specific, but there's 2 big focuses for Frost DK. One, what did I talk about a bunch of times? The AoE go. AoE goes are multifaceted every time you do them. You are stopping all of the things they can do. That's healing, damage, you're peeling for people, you're disrupting their entire team at the same time, but you're also setting up win conditions for your team, right? Because you are putting everybody in a pile, so anybody else that can cleave also benefits from this. Warriors, Demon Hunters, Windwalkers, even Frost Mages. Frost Mages drop a Frozen Orb on that, drop a Blizzard, start Ice Lance, cleave spamming, right? Everybody can benefit from a huge pile of stunned targets, right? So when you do this, you can do it to peel for your flag carrier in the tunnel going up Warsong Gulch. You could do it on Silver Shard Mines when they're all on the cart. You could do it in Twin Peaks and either the cutoff points, like right on that bridge going up into the flag room. Then you can just do a go and stop them from ever getting to your flag carrier, or kill their entire team, and now they have to res and get back to your flag carrier. You could do it in a mid-fight in Deepwind Gorge. It's not quite as valuable because Deepwind Gorge is pretty spread out, and it's a little frustrating for Frost to lose some value on that map, but you're going to have to try and find a way to make plays on every single map. You don't get to choose which map you get. Gilneas has a little bit bigger team fight, and you can do a big go there to win the Waterworks team fight and win your team the game, because once you have 2 bases, you pretty much win. And of course, Temple. I mean, get 2 orbs in a big pile, they're both going to die instantly from AoE stuns. I mean, that's a no-brainer, right? So this is what the AoE stun go looks like. You're going to effectively do the arena one, but I'll show you again. You're going to Remorseless, then Limb, then Frostworm's Fury AoE stun as they're all together. Because the Limb is going to, first you can grip a healer and grip another healer and blind. And then Remorseless, Limb, this is going to herd everybody together. Anybody that's near you is going to get yanked in by the flailing arms, right? Remorseless, Limb, AoE stun, shoop, right through them. It's going to summon all your riders, which means you don't even have to press D&D. All your obliterates are going to cleave. Pillar and Power, and you start obliterating, right? And it's going to look exactly like this. Remorse, Limb, Frostworms, and now we Frost Strike, obliterate, Howling Blast, obliterate, Frost Strike, obliterate. And you can see every single obliterate cleave. This is cleaving the entire target. You saw AoE stun go on them, AoE stun go on them, AoE stun go on them, right? They're all cleaved. You're going to be ramping up that undeath. This is going to rot them all down after they get out of your power, right? And what you really did is you obliterate cleave their entire team, and each of those obliterate cleaves got a Trollbane's Icy Fury extra damage, and then the undeath spread to everybody, and that is just this monster cleave with the Howling Blast Rhyme procs to generate Killing Machine procs, which give you obliterate, right? All this AoE damage. Prioritize Rhyme procs over Frost Strike for generating obliterate during obliteration. Yeah, it generates Killing Machines during obliteration. And all of this damage is all AoE. All of this damage is all doing an AoE stun. All of this damage is proccing other damage, Trollbanes and Undeath. And it is very, very difficult for people to survive, let alone counter pressure you in any way. They're going, once they get out of this, they're going to have to use defensives. They're going to have to play defensively, and that gives you more initiative. So that's the first thing you can do as a Frost DK. Find the times you can do this. Every map, again, if you're on offense, yank their healers in to the flag carrier, right? If you're on offense on Twin Peaks, yank the healers into the flag carrier and make sure none of them can do anything while they all have to heal themselves, but they have to heal the FC as well, who's taking more damage from your obliterates and blah, blah, blah. Or do it on defense and peel everybody off your flag carrier while killing them and stunning them and slowing them and blinding them, which also applies a slow. So they're going to come out of that slow. Nothing they can really do. Do it on Temple. Kill multiple orb carriers at the same time. Do it on Gilneas. Win the Waterworks fight. But there's another thing you can do. And it's two main abilities. Chains of Ice, Death Grip. 40-yard range Death Grip and undispellable 70% chains slow are the two most impactful tools you have in your entire arsenal. You can peel, even when your limb goes not up, even when your AoE stun's not up, you can peel anybody you want in the entire game at any time by gripping them 40 yards and pressing chains. If you need to get a warrior off your healer, or you're off your flag carrier, or off of a base, grip them 40 yards and press chains of ice. If you need to kidnap a disc priest who is healing a team fight, but the team fight is rotting, and if you could get that healer out of there, they would all die all at once because the disc priest is the only thing keeping them alive. Grip them 40 yards away, press chains of ice. Then death charger 20 yards back, grip them again, press chains of ice. Look at the range of this thing, by the way. Wait until this goes red. Look at this. This is your grip range. That's how far you can pull them. And then you could Death Charger. And then they're right there. And you can pull them again. And because you have Chains of Ice, undispellable, 70% movement slow, they probably only RP walked like 2 yards while you're Death Charging back. And now you're going to grip them all the way back to here. They start over there. And you're going to pull them to right here. That completely takes them out of exactly where they want to be. And in Battleground Blitz, that is insane. Because sometimes you can win, like I said, you can win a base from that. You can win a team fight from that. You can, every time the FC is about to get 40 yards out, you can, right before he gets there, press grip. And if he gets out of your range at any time, you can Death Charger grip, right? Because when you're on your Death Charger, you can still use your abilities. So you can sprint grip just to make sure you get back in range of him, grip him all the way back, press chains. You can peel warriors, you can peel rogues, you can peel casters even, because casters have to be in range of the target, and if they're 70% movement speed slow with a DK on top of them, now they can't do anything. If there's a Destro Lock tormenting your team, tormenting your FC, just bolting and bolting him, grip him into a bad spot and press chains. Then grip the other guy. Remember, you have 2 grips. You don't have to use them both on the same guy. Here, watch this. Here's a lock, here's a mage. Grip, chains. Grip, chains. And now both of those players are on you, and then you can blind to both. That's another thing you should be doing. Double grip, blind. Limb, blind, right? If you need to be an impact player at a base, all you need to do is find out what is going to win us that base. Is it just one guy and you could grip him off the thing, blind him, and now we just cap? Sure. Is it a healer and 2 DPS, but we have 3 DPS there already? What that is a situation where your 3 DPS will be against their 2 DPS because all you have to do is take the healer away. Now it's 3 DPS slaughtering 2 DPS with a healer that has no chance of getting back. Is your FC in trouble, right? Here's another one. Orb carriers in Temple. Let's RP for a second. Here's the middle. Remember the middle in Temple where everybody goes, right? To get more points. Sometimes people just kind of pile in there. But there's a orb carrier on the side. He doesn't want to be in the middle because he'll die. It's a marksmanship hunter or a frost mage. He's on the side looking down into middle. Nobody can hit him because he's in Z-axis. Your warriors, your DHs, they can't get them. Well, DH probably could. So let's say warrior, windwalker can't get to him. You grip him into middle, chains of ice in the middle of the map. You then turn. You see a mage. Grip him into middle. Chains him in the middle of the map. Now, you have 2 orb carriers in the middle. Your entire team goes, oh, look, orb carriers, and kills them instantly. Otherwise, they would have just kept shooting you and doing unlimited damage while racking up points. But now, because you were in the game, they're dead. And that completely changed the game from 2 death grips. 2 death grips, 2 chains press, and you've completely changed the game. Every time they want to just shoot people from the outside, shoot people and do limitless damage because they're getting a damage buff from having those orbs, and they're getting points from collecting orbs. Every time they want to do that, you grip them in. You've completely changed the game from 2 buttons. You have to find a way to change the game in Battleground Blitz. That's the only way to win. People on your team will make mistakes. Believe me, I rage about it all day, every day. I will of course admit that. But I did manage to get rating because every single game I try, and you got to try, to make a difference. Even if your team is doing things that you don't like, even if they're playing subpar, if you just keep making that difference over and over and over, you will eventually come out on top. The best players will be at the top of the leaderboard because they consistently make a difference good enough to win the game. And that's what you have to find. So you have your limb go, you have your AoE stun go, right? You have your big nuclear peel and go that I talked about and explained for you. And then you have the 2 biggest buttons, grip, chains of ice. Your mobility tools again, Wraith Walk, get out of roots with this. Death Charger, get out of roots with that, right? These are your ways to traverse the map to get from one place to another. Find those ways. Again, my guide for every single map is in the description below. It explains the rules of every single map. EOTS is another one. Sometimes it's tough to make plays, but if you can ever find yourself in a situation where you're spinning a node, this is what you really want to do on node maps. So the last thing I'll talk about is node maps in BG Blitz as a DK. If you're in a node map, you don't really have the best CC outside of the AoE blind. That's pretty powerful. You don't have sap and kidney and blind though. Rather, all of those tools together. You have an AoE blind, but it's not 5-second rogue blind that can be followed up by sap, right? You don't have kidney. Your stun takes a little while to ramp up, and your frost worms is only 3 seconds. Kidney is 5, right? You don't have the toolkit of a rogue to cap a base. You don't have cyclone, right? You don't have polymorph, okay? You're not quite a CC capper, but you do have those ways. The grip chains, the grip blinds off, right? Okay, you still have that. But one thing you really could do is spin a node. Frost DK spins so well. Again, what did I say? You have AoE stun, disruption, AoE blind, another AoE stun. You have multiple ways of spinning and stopping them from killing you. So if you're in Deep Wind, Arathi, EOTS, and it's you plus a healer, and there's 4 of them, don't just be like, oh, there's 4v2 guys, so we can't win this now. You'd be like, wait a minute. If I hold these guys, 2v4, if I survive AMS, Death Strike, you have CC immunities. You have ways of stopping them from capping. You have ways of stopping them from killing you. They can't kill you in a kidney if you IBF it, right? And Death Strike a whole bunch, right? You can get out of these tools. You can stay active, stay disruptive, and you could spin these guys 2v4, and that means you have more numbers everywhere else. Now, if they don't do anything with it, dang, you got a crap team. But if you keep doing that over and over, eventually you're going to be winning a lot of games because it's the rest of their 4 players against the rest of your 6. 6 is more than 4 at every other place in the map, right? So if you can hold them there, and you can stop them from doing anything with your grips and your blinds and your AoE stuns and your survivability and your Death Strike, right? You got AMS. AMS, that's going to prevent all magical CC. IBF, that's going to get you out of all stuns, and you spam Death Strike. That 2 keybind right there for me, that's Death Strike, Death Strike, Death Strike. You throw out an AoE stun, okay? Right? You have the blind. You can desync your blind and AoE stun this time because now you're not trying to do a go. You're just trying to CC them for as long as possible. So you blind, you sit it, you don't break it, you wait. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now you throw out the Phosphorum's Fury. 3, 2, 1. They just can't do anything. You just Death Strike, Death Strike, Death Strike. You just play to live. You don't play to kill them. You play to be alive. You got all your riders there, right? Those guys give you a wall, another damage reduction, another way of spinning, right? That is a tool you can use. That is a tool. You can say, I'm in a 2v4. Instead of just saying, oh, they have more people than me, we're going to lose this. Play to live and disrupt as long as humanly possible. Do that on Deep Wind and a 2v4 in Market. Do that in EOTS and a 2v4 at their base. Or mid, maybe, if you're just spinning them at mid. Do it on Arathi in Blacksmith. 2v4, you're so happy. 2v3, you're still happy. 2v5, if you could live that, you're ecstatic. You've won every other base, right? You just find a way to live. Use your... You even have another anti-CC. Use your anti-CC. This is Lichborn. It gets you out of every fear, right? It immunes every single fear, right? Use your anti-CC toolkit to say, no, you cannot cap on me right now. There's too many of you. You're going to be breaking CC. I'm going to be immuning CC. I'm going to be stopping you. I'm going to be blinding you, AoE stunning you. I even have a trinket on top of all of that, right? There it is, little trinket icon. Okay. You have so many different ways of being a nuisance at a base like that. You may not be the perfect sap capper like a rogue, but you can, and here's one more thing. What if they're like, crap, we can't kill this DK. We have 2 healers here. The disc starts walking away. Tell them no. Grip the disc right back to Blacksmith or wherever you're at right there at Market at Blacksmith. Chains of Ice, say, now you're stuck here with me, right? They got 2 healers here. They can't kill you, but they're stuck because you just keep gripping them back to the point and chaining them over and over. And now every other node is winning and they'd love to get to those other nodes, but they're stuck there with you. This is how you make a difference on every single map as FrostDK. This is how you get rating as FrostDK, right? I'm 2750 MMR right now. We should be able to push 25, 26 CR. If you want these crazy new achievements, these new BG Blitz titles that you can get, so exciting, right? Use these tips. It should be everything. You can also throw in zone, by the way. Just drop a zone on your point, save you and your healer. Right? This is an obvious button, but hey, figured I would say it. If I didn't say it, that would be not fully complete, right? You want to drop zone, especially if there's multiple frost mages. There's going to be tons of those locks, right? Just drop zone on the point. Just keep there spinning. Use all your survivability tools. 1, 2, 3, 4. And one final thing. If you are on offense or on defense and you're getting CC'd and it stops you from peeling for them, remember the entire thing I just talked about here you could do the limb go and peel everybody and you can grip the FC back. Let's say you're stunned and you're like, oh no, I can't grip him now. Throw this out. I don't care if you're 100% health. Your duty is to make an impact right there. They can't get you out of the stun. You have to get you out of the stun right now. Don't save this for a rainy day. Do not hold AMS for the longest time ever. Use it to prevent incoming magical CC. Do not sit on Lichborn. The second you get feared, if it's disrupting you, use it, right? Use your outs to make difference plays. Do not let that guy get away with the flag. IBF the stun and grip him back, right? Do not Lichborn the fear and grip him back. Do not let the 2 rogues kill your flag carrier. IBF their stun and blind them both. Get out of CC to do CC. I hope this helped. I hope you push all of your goals this season as FrostDK and Battleground Blitz. If there is any follow-up questions, please ask them in the comments below. And you can watch me play it on stream. I don't actually rage. Now that I got to decent MMR, I actually don't. I play with really, really elite players, and it's very easy to have very fantastic games. And it's been actually really, really exciting. On my lower tunes, I'm still getting over the whole... It's a tough bracket sometimes. I'll see you there. Take care, bros. Peace. Thanks for watching.